All right, so I apologize for this music. This is what we got in the in the lobby of the stage where they're going to be doing the PTR presentation. So, just saw a tweet from Pez Radar, Adam Fletcher. They have dropped the patch notes. Just going to go through this kind of quick. 2.40 public test realm will be available from August 19th to 26th. You'll have a chance to test upcoming changes and features releasing with the next season for the base game, along with Vessel of Hatred updates. Purpose of PTR is test, yada yada yada. We know that. They'll use our feedback. And yeah, so they'll use our feedback, and that will have effect. Infernal Hordes Reborn. This sounds kind of cool. Significant rework of offerings revealed between each wave, so I guess they're going to have more different choices, which should be good. They're balancing existing ones, changing the effects of some, and adjusting monster populations. I hope they're putting more and not less. At the start of the Horde, start with an Infernal offering to immediately stoke the embers and breathe some fire into your run. That's kind of cool. No more initial monster to kill to kick it off, I guess. Councils had some promotions. One of their members will now be their designated council speaker and gain enhanced abilities. That's interesting. Chaos monsters. Hell has unearthed a new monster family. Interesting. So it's a whole new monster family. I wonder if this is seasonal or if they'll be sticking. Hellfire brews the dastardliest maladies. The writing. Within Infernal Hordes, you'll occasionally be offered the chance of a Chaos Wave. Okay, so that'll be one of the new mechanics. We can pick a wave of Chaos. You expect amount of Chaos Waves offered relative to the Infernal Compass tier each time. So I guess it sounds like the higher you got 6, 8, 10. If you got a 10, you might get more Chaos Waves. Chaos Waves alter the upcoming wave, imbuing havoc and intense challenge. These waves will significantly increase difficulty, but reward far more ether. Cool. We like that. Chaos Waves will have many different combinations. Dodge deadly projectiles from Chaos Rifts. Oh god, I hope it's not more one-shots. Slay a rampaging Hellworm. Ooh, these worms gonna actually do something now and not just spit stuff out, or what? That sounds kind of cool. Aether Goblins? Ooh. 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 Loot. Loot. Bartuk, the Lord of Blood. Rather than facing off against the Council, you can choose to risk your hard-earned Aether and throw down against the insidious reborn Bartuk to complete your Horde run. Oh! A different boss. That's a twist. Okay. Okay, Blizzard. Okay. I came into this very, very skeptical, and so far I am hesitantly optimistic about what I'm reading. Introducing a warming version of the Hordes to burn through earlier in your character journey. Oh, cool. So you have a newbie one. That'll be very nice for leveling. I was really sad when we couldn't get into the Hordes until Torment anymore. Fleeting Hordes will be in 4 waves total with limited Infernal offerings. Keep the packs of vicious goblins under control. Upon completing the waves, you'll fight 2 Fell Council members before you can spend your hard-earned ether for rewards. Cool. Bartuk Beckett. Nice. infamous Vijayri warlord known for his acts of cruelty performed in the Mage Clan Wars. Bartuk's perversion knows no bounds. He returns to Sanctuary with a new title, Warlord of Chaos. Okay? Each member of your party will need to spend ether to fight the infamous Vijayri Bartuk, so it's like the bosses now. Once known as the Warlord of Blood, the first player who chooses sets the decision for the rest of the party. So make sure you know who you're doing this with, or be ready to fight whatever someone picks. Bartuk will harness chaos portals to shoot projectiles at your location, master his tactics, and enter these chaos portals tactically to gain the upper hand. So what, we'll be zipping around the fight through portals? That sounds interesting. Upon defeat, Bartuk's rewards will appear on the ground, so you do not have to spend additional ether to claim these spoils. Hey. Okay, harness entropy with chaos armor. The only certainty is that nothing is certain. I like that. It reminds me of my favorite quote of all time, which is, the only constant is change. So if you don't like change, you're in for a bumpy ride. No entity is free from the grip of chaos. Human, Haradrim, angel, or wait. Why is there a distinction between human and Haradrim? Are Haradrim not human? I thought that was just a group. I didn't think that was a race. Anyway, angel, demon, all dance in its path. So rather than succumb to its erratic forces, harness this untapped power for yourself. Okay. So I'm seeing uniques that I'm familiar with, but where's the chaos? What's... oh, what? Banished Lord's talisman is gloves? What? Wait. Only certainty is nothing is certain. No entity is free for a human, Haradrim, angel, even all dances. So rather than succumb to... Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No. Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? Can you get a talisman as gloves? Holy crap. Holy crap. I'm stunned. I'm stunned. I don't believe what I'm seeing here. This is I must be misunderstanding this. Let's read on. The new unique armor type, Chaos Armor, has entered Sanctuary. Chaos Armor is a more powerful version of existing unique items that comes with a diabolical twist. Chaos Armor are unique items that appear as more powerful counterparts for other item slots, leading to entirely new ways of dispensing carnage. Chaos Armor can appear for the following item slots: helm, chest, gloves, pants, boots. Okay. Chaos Armor is a more powerful version of existing unique items that comes with a twist. Chaos Armor are unique items that appear as more powerful counterparts for other item slots. So yes, that is exactly what I'm seeing in this image. You can get a Banished Lord's talisman as a pair of gloves. That's what they're showing us. That's amazing. And the affix. That's the difference. Look at the affix. The neck cap's at 60. These gloves are 72. This is nuts. This is nuts. Okay, Blizzard, you got my attention. You got my attention. So basically it seems like any potential unique item could be spawned as a piece of armor? What? Chaos Armor will only appear as an item fit for any other than its original slot. So you can't get a Chaos... You can't just get a more powerful version for the same slot. Chaos unique powers are also more potent than their normal counterpart and always appear at maximum power. Oh! And have one greater affix. So they're kind of like mythics in that way, that at least the affix is always max. And they always have at least one GA. Nice. I wonder how rare these are going to be. You can have Fists of Fate dropped as a helm instead of gloves, allowing you to equip a different set of unique gloves to compound those affixes in a combination that was previously unavailable. Oh my god! I need the PTR tomorrow. I need the PTR now. I need to log in right now to the PTR and play this. There's so many builds that I've wanted to do that have been completely impossible because it would require 2 different items in the same slot. Oh my god. Just this alone is going to make it worth at least playing the PTR, if not the season. This is dope. Let's hope they didn't do anything really bad for the down. Oh god. I'm scared. Okay, so these are the ones that you can get as chaos items. So we got generals, banished lords, which is since they nerfed overpowered, I don't think that's nearly as desirable as it used to be. Fists of Fate, that's kind of interesting. Flicker Step, God Slayer. Oh, God Slayer, that damage to elites could be nice for pit runs, and no one was going to wear a God Slayer when they could have Arrow Perdition or Shaco. So this is a really good way of making this thing potentially actually usable. Pain Gorger, Mother's Embrace, that's good. That are nice stats, but who wants to put that on when you've got a Starless and a Talrasha on your Sork? You're going to put a Mother's... No. But if you could get that as buffs, hell yes. Or boots, even better. Oh my god. Wait a second. Are we going to be able to get offensive uniques and defensive and utility slots? Oh my. Oh my. We'll have to wait and see what they say. And then there's specific ones. Barbarian. Okay, sorry to disappoint you, Barbarian, Druid players, but I mainly play Necro and Sork, so that's what I'm going to focus on. Black River, Deathspeak, Urban Piercer, Lidless Wall. Oh, Ring of Melon. That's good. That could be interesting somewhere other than the ring stat. Ooh, Hand of Naz. Mortarcrux. Alright, rogue stuff. Sorcerer. Alright, now, oh. I don't know how many people are going to be excited about Blue Rose, Esidora's, Winterglass. Now, that is freaking cool. That is freaking cool. As long as they don't severely nerf Hydra or, Ophidian and Winterglass. That's nuts. So, let's say you can get a amulet with GA intelligence and 2 of whatever the best passives are for your build, and still run Winterglass and Ophidian and armor slots. Flam Essen might actually be useful if it wasn't a weapon. Maybe. Maybe. Vox Omnium. Spirit Bloom. Chaos Rifts. Okay, yeah. Strange portals of crackling energy appear across Sanctuary, unleashing the burning hells, legions through their open maw, but yada yada yada. Chaos Rifts will appear in the open world of Sanctuary within Helltime. Kill the demons pouring from them and steal them away for a variety of rewards. They're a great source of chaotic loot, giving you additional experience, gems, and chaos armor in Torment difficulties. In extremely rare cases, when playing in Torment difficulties, you may even come across a mythic chaos. Oh, does that mean it's going to have mythic drops? I hope. Maybe. Chaos Rift Nightmare Dungeons. These Nightmare Dungeons are rife with Chaos Rifts and bountiful source of Fleeting Horde compasses. Cool. Chaos Perks. Okay, more borrowed powers. Not super excited about that, but that seems like the seasonal mechanic we're going to get for a while. The Heradric power thing was better, in my opinion, than some of the borrowed powers have been, so who knows? Maybe this thing will be decent. We'll find out. Something as incredible has descended upon Sanctuary, imbuing your abilities with devastating effect. Chaos magic distorts all that it touches, even you! Chaos is, of course, chaotic. And these perks often come at a price for the power they provide. Ooh. Chaos perks change how your skills function. Harness your finest buildcraft to create devastating combinations. Four rarities of perks: magic, rare, legendary, and unique. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Okay, you can equip up to 3 non-unique perks at once and 1 unique perk. That kind of sounds similar to the way stuff has worked. Magic, invigorating attacks, silver, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure they're going to cover this at length in their presentation, so maybe we'll just skip over this. We're about 7 minutes away from when their presentation is supposed to start, so. Let's see. A beast cornered. For every 10% of life. Okay, this is still chaos power. I think I got a lot of. What? Class-specific chaos perks. Oh, that's interesting. So maybe they're going to weave some synergy with class-specific stuff. Another equip basic skill at the target. Oh, 2 basic skills at the same time. Interesting. Raging Chaos, Deafening Chorus. I'm sure Rob's going to cover all this barbarian stuff for you guys. So let's just get down to, all right, Necromancer. Skeleton Warriors. Damage over time has a chance equal to your critical strike. Defile the Dead. Rogue. Where's the Sorcerer? Sorcerer. Explosive combination magic. Casting a basic skill increases the damage of your next core skill cast by 30 to 50%, stacking up to 3 times. Okay. So maybe there's a place, especially if Pain Gorger and Vox Mortis are potentially going to be able to be part of a build that's not in the weapon or glove slots, where you might want to have something else, like, I don't know, say a Fireball Sork with Vox Mortis, and you have your Fireball gloves and your Fireball staff, and you have Vox Mortis and Pain Gorger, and then have Firebolt and Fireball in the setup. I don't know. Could be interesting. I'm gonna have a lot of shit to test in this PTR. Oh my god, this is nuts. Okay, core base skill ranks increase mana cost or cooldown by 10%. Mana infused conjurations. Core. What do they mean mana cost or cooldown? We'll have to get that explained to us. Mana infused conjurations. Your conjurations are empowered and deal 10 to 30% increased damage, but each one drains 5 mana per second. Oh. 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 Yeah, you're going to need a mana heavy build for that. Mana shield. You have 99 reduced maximum life. Spiritborn. Alright. What else have we got? New uniques. I know I'm scrolling through this stuff, and there's probably some people who want to see this. I'll go kind of slow so you can stop it if you want to and check it out. But we are now 4 minutes away from the official start time of the sit down. So unique ring. A different cooldown reduction ring. Lightning and crit strike. So that could be good if you're not maybe a replacement for Talrasha. I don't know. PTR boost. This is going to be standard stuff. Okay. And I know if you're watching this on Twitch, I'll May you write your deeds across sanctuary with a pen of flame and iron. Cool. August 18th. I could have sworn that Adam's post said 19th. Did it not? Did Adam's post say the 19th? I guess we'll find out in a minute. We're about to start. We got 2 minutes to the official start of this thing. So let's see here. All right, for those of you who don't Discord, this is the Diablo 4 Sanctuary community. We have a decent amount of folks in attendance here. Do I have this muted or something? Why do I not hear it? I didn't have it muted, right? You guys all heard the music. It shouldn't be muted. I have music muted. They all have their mics muted. Cliptis doesn't have his mic muted though, and I don't hear anything. It's 2 o'clock. Let's see. We'll kick off. Wow. 640 something, 600. And chat's pretty excited. Soon TM. A lot of people in here. Well, don't I feel dumb? I apparently
729 in audience, it says.
we got Ginger Gaming also streaming.
Time to go give some snacks to the chinchillas.
Well, I feel stupid. So the whole time I thought it was muted, it was just me. So you guys were probably hearing it going, what the hell? Why is this guy saying he's muted? I full screened it. I didn't have the function key pressed and I muted it instead. All right, I am out of coffee, so I am gonna let you guys enjoy this lovely elevator music while I go grab some more. They're off to a late start. 5 minutes late. Going by those patch notes, I think I could be wrong here, but if I recall correctly, they typically drop the patch notes after. So this is kind of an interesting shift. They're dropping it before, which to me says a couple of things. They means they kind of want some conversation, but also, you know, in the last few of these campfires, they didn't seem super excited about what they were presenting, honestly. If I was them, I'd be pretty excited about the stuff that we went through on these patch notes earlier. Chaos powers, yeah, whatever, no big deal. Unique items, yeah, okay, they do that every season, but the chaos items sounds amazing. Obviously, we'll have to see how it plays out in the game, which I will do for you guys. People don't want to play the PR, don't have time to play the PTR. I will be streaming the PTR, especially if you play Sork and Necromancer, because that'll probably be my focus. But yeah, it's that's an interesting change already. We should be live by now, shouldn't we? What's going on? Did somebody drop out? Let's clip this. Pop out back in. Maybe we're having audio trouble. His mic's not muted, so why? You would think we would hear him.
I could check it over here just to see. Let me hop over on my other computer and I'll check it on my other computer just to make sure. Let's see. So on the other computer, I have music, no audio. So again, nothing. Disconnect over here and come back over here. Hey, at least we've got some cheesy music to help us out in the waiting of this. You know, they could have, like, actually practiced this instead of, you know, like, beta testing it on us. My comment's gonna get deleted. Watch, it's gonna get deleted. I'm getting skulls. Yes, hit the buttons, guys. Hit the buttons. I'm not entirely sure if the people in chat aren't just trolling them like constantly. Like one person saying he hears and then the other person saying he doesn't, and like apparently Cliptis is on YouTube. Apparently that's what people are saying, is that they can hear him on YouTube, but they can't hear him on the actual, like, chat window on Discord.
Sorry,
This is great. This is great, guys. This is great. Let's put them side by side. Why not? Let's have both of them side by side. There we go. And then we can get the cheesy music too while we're at it. Let's get the cheesy music running. And let's get the chat up here. Let's have all the chats. Let's have both chats in all the lands here. There we go. Look, we've got everything running now. We've got chinchillas over here on the left. If they decide to show up, you know, like we've got the chat for the actual Dujank on the left side there. We've got Cliptis' stream on the right side. We got the Cliptis chat on the right side as well. Do I?
The public test realm live streams are out. Sanctuary sit-downs are in as we head into a new format for Diablo 4. So what does that mean for you? And where can you join me as I host the first sit-down with this brand
sent me a message. Oh man, that's right. I'm gonna message Catch Your Earth and see what's going on. He's in stage.
Okay, testing, testing. For anybody that can hear me, there is a little option right at the very bottom of where all of for people are. You can hit mute music. Okay, for everybody that is listening on. Start the stream back up as soon as we get this going again. So I apologize for all of.
Is he going in and out of mute? What is going on? Oh, he's restarting his stream. Ay, ay, ay. I don't know what's going on. But I'm checking out other streams here as we're watching and talking, and um, now it's giving me an ad, which I'm not going to play for you guys. They didn't pay my channel. I'm not getting exposed to it.
It's funny too because Cliptis said he actually did test it beforehand. He said it was working fine when we tested it beforehand.
Why can't I chat in his YouTube chat?
I can't hear jack diddly. People are still trolling, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they're still trolling. Because there's no sound.
It looks like he's not live now. What is going on? I wish it was in my control to do something about this for you guys, but it is not. I'm probably going to cut this section out for the YouTube. So if you're watching this and you're getting impatient, yeah, maybe you want to just watch on YouTube later because I'll cut this out. Well, I guess elevator music is better than silence, right? This is a paid subscription on YouTube, so hopefully I don't have to be subscribed to see I'm live. It's gonna make this tough. Take a moment to introduce you folks to someone who is not a sponsor, but who I very much want to promote. If you haven't heard of Moonbeast yet, it's a studio that's making a new game. They're just doing a sample this week. Unfortunately, I just started streaming this week, so I don't think I haven't even applied. I don't think I would make the cut as a content creator because I have like average one viewer right now. But they have an early access available to content creators this week. So there's a lot of streams of gameplay out there. War the Wise, Ginger Gaming Mentor, Sirach, Darth Microtransaction, Rob, the list goes on. That probably whoever your favorite ARPG streamer has probably streamed this week, or they will this weekend. But yeah, Moonbeast is I'm so excited for this game. There's people from Diablo, Diablo 2, Phil Shank, Phil Hu, or Pete Hu, Eric Schaefer, and the game looks amazing. So check out Moonbeast. Check it out. It's crazy. And hey, while we're here, I'll plug myself too. I've got a new website. It's a fledgling game media site called arpg.life. And if you haven't guessed from the name...
Yeah, we can hear you, Charles.
It's all about ARPGs. So check it out, arpg.life. looks like we're actually getting into a stream now, so.
Okay, so Charles was able to speak. Ben, Cliptis.
Testing.
Ah, nice. We can hear you finally.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sick.
Hello.
Hey, Alien.
Hey.
Hey.
So don't break the server, please. You have administrator perms right now to be able to speak.
Okay.
Oh, too much power. Excellent.
Okay, I will leave
Alright.
silently and I will let you carry on. See you.
Thank you.
Okay, so everybody here, we all ready?
Oh yeah.
Ready.
Good to go.
Wanderers, welcome to the Sanctuary Sit Down, a series where members of the Diablo community like me get a chance to chat with the developers about upcoming seasonal content. I'm your host, Cliptis. Joining me today are three of the developers that are going to walk us through what to expect during the upcoming public test realm. Before we get into the good stuff, let's get some introductions out.
All right.
Aislinn, you want to start?
Sure, yeah. I'm Aislinn Hall. I'm a systems designer working on Diablo 4, mostly working on seasonal stuff at the moment, like Season 10.
Hey, I'm Ben Fletcher. I'm the lead designer for Season 10.
And hi, I'm Charles Dunn. Working on the final design team. I mostly do class design work. And for Season 10, I worked on the Chaos perks. Talk about.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you everybody for being here. So Charles, let's start with you. What are some of the things that we're working on for Season 10?
Yeah, let's talk about Chaos perks. It seems like someone's saying my audio is a little low, so I'm gonna try to talk loud here, I guess. Or let me take a look at setting. Seems to be right. You can also update volume on Discord in particular. But yeah, so for Season 10, I want to talk a little bit about kind of the concept of seasonal powers and kind of, how we've thought about it in previous seasons and a little bit about how we're thinking about them now here in Season 10 and moving forward. We've had a number of seasons where we introduce like some seasonal powers, like in the season of Witchcraft, we had the Witchcraft powers and then the boss powers and so on. And a lot of times when we think about like building your character, you build up your character in kind of multiple layers where you get your basic skills or like your skills that you pick in your skill tree, then your items on top of that, and your paragon, and then kind of the like icing on the cake, the top layer is kind of those seasonal powers. And we add in new seasonal power, and it modifies your build a little bit, makes it a little different flavor. But then a lot of the feedback we've heard from players is that next season you kind of scrape off that icing and then put on a new flavor of icing. And so kind of the running joke is like, well, what flavor is the next season going to bring? And we thought here for Season 10, we really want to disrupt that pattern, where we're not looking at just kind of surface layer powers that are just kind of added on and removed. We're really looking at, to continue the cake analogy, right, is looking at changing up the filling of the cake, the kind of connective tissue between your builds with our seasonal offerings. To be able to be like, hey, here's something that actually just fundamentally changes how you play your character. It's not just an extra effect that just, is added on top of everything else. And so with that in mind, we built what we call Chaos perks. And calling them perks kind of differentiates them from the kind of power designs that we've had in the past, where it really is focusing in on this kind of connective tissue in between the kind of layers of your classes, your skills, your actual skills, and your itemization. And so we built this seasonal power system really all about making sure it hooks into your skills. It influences your build in ways that we have not really done before with seasonal powers in the past. And also speaking of item builds, we're going to be talking a little bit later about Chaos Armor. I think Aizen will be covering a lot of that, which is also kind of another take on how we took the learnings of previous seasonal powers and kind of the feedback we've gotten around that and use that to iterate and make a more interesting and engaging system here moving forward.
I'm actually very excited to hear about these seasonal powers. So with the way that we're approaching this, so we're still thinking about seasonal powers, but this is now going to be something that we're going to just add extra layers on, because you said armor and now it's going to be moving to perks. So is this going to be something that we're going to be looking to do going into every season now?
I wouldn't commit to future seasons. You know, we're here talking about the season 10 PTR and how we're really looking at that. I think it's definitely something that the entire team has taken feedback in on, and we're going to be using that to influence our future design directions. But mainly want to talk about, you know, what's coming in season 10 and not necessarily on future seasons, which are still in development.
Okay, that is awesome. So we got Ben here. We have actually, I have a graphic here that I want to put up on the screen that maybe we can talk about here. Let me just get this up.
I'm guessing
It's up here and running for everybody.
Look at that. It's coming. Talk about armor. So far, the patch notes were more.
Can anybody see the graphic here?
It looks like your screen is loading something. There it is.
There
It just popped in for me. All right, so what you're seeing there is a Chaos Rift. So before I really get into what Chaos Rifts are, let's just talk about Chaos. The theme of the season is Chaos. So basically, kind of the narrative wrapper here is Mephisto's been free to wander around Sanctuary for a little while now, and we're starting to see the impacts of that. Basically, his very presence is weakening the veil between heaven and hell, and that's making these Chaos Rifts pop up throughout the land. So in the season, you're going to be closing these Chaos Rifts. A Chaos Rift is basically a one-way portal from hell. Bring demons with it. We've got a new family of demon, a Chaos family that has some unique, fun twists on it. But anyways, you're going to be killing them, closing the rifts, and that's how you're going to be getting your reputation, your seasonal currency, stuff like that. So the main place that you'll start encountering these as you begin the game will be in Helltides. You'll be going through Helltides. You'll see these markers pop up on your map. It looks a lot like an offering marker from Infernal Hordes, and that's because it's got a similar function to it in that these don't just open by themselves. You actually have to go up and opt into the experience, and so you'll be able to see the rift name. You'll be able to see the rewards associated with it before you interact with it, and that. At the beginning, you're probably just going to be opening, closing all the ones that you come across. But as you get deeper into the experience, and you've encountered a lot of these, kind of what's in each one, what each one entails, then you can start making informed decisions on like, okay, yeah, this one I definitely want to do because I'm chasing that reward, or I just really enjoy the gameplay of this one. And other ones like, you know what, I'm not really looking for that thing, and I can just move on with my experience, and it's not opening by itself and forcing me into the engagement. Also, this being in Helltides, if you're actually trying to focus on something else in Helltides, like fighting Blood Maidens or, collecting cinders and stuff like that, then because these are opt into, they're not going to be pulling you away from the thing that you're trying to focus on. But it's not all Helltides, especially in that pre-torment experience. We wanted to work in some more activities kind of into that leveling loop. So by closing the rifts in Helltides, you can actually find a new kind of Nightmare Dungeon sigil that's got the Chaos Rift affix. And by using that, it takes you into a special Nightmare Dungeon that's dense with Chaos Rifts and Chaos Monster Family monsters. So really high density on the rewards that you get from those things. And then the third step is closing the rifts that are in those Nightmare Dungeons. You have a chance to get what's called a Fleeting Compass. sounds awfully close to an Infernal Compass that gets you into Infernal Hordes. Well, that's the idea. We've made an abbreviated pre-torment version of Infernal Hordes for you to engage with in the pre-torment experience. Basically, it's shortened down, so it's only 4 waves, and you're only facing off against 2 of the Fell Council at the end instead of all 3 members. But it's still like monster dense. It's still reward dense. They're going to be pretty rare to come across, but it's definitely worth your time to do them because of the extra experience and rewards you're going to get from doing those. Once you move into the hit level 60, max out your characters, get moving into those torment tiers, then the focus really shifts into our updates that we've made around Infernal Hordes. So we've made some updates to the existing Infernal Hordes. We've taken, the offerings that have been underperforming in the past or just weren't as fun and tried to bring those up to the same level as like the Hellborn offerings that have been so popular in the last few seasons. On top of that, we've also made some minor adjustments to the Fell Council fight to make it more interesting and more enjoyable to do. But the biggest changes to Infernal Hordes come from chaos being injected into them. As you're going through your waves, you'll occasionally see a 4th offering option pop up, and that 4th option will always be a chaos offering that'll lead to a chaos wave. And the chaos waves are quite a bit different than your standard Infernal Hordes waves. Instead of the Aether events that you see during a standard wave and the boons and banes that are also associated with that, there are no boons and banes for the chaos rifts, but they are very dense with Aether. They're, if you can perform well, if you could do good, then, you're going to get the most Aether from a single wave by doing these. Also, the gameplay is different. They're almost shaped after like a mini game type mentality. Like one of my favorites kind of flips things on its head, and instead of destroying etheric masses, they put an etheric mass in the middle of the arena, and then you've got the lunatics, the exploding guys, throwing themselves at it from every direction trying to destroy it, and your job is to defend it from them. And when you get to the end of the wave, the more health that mass has, the more Aether you're going to earn from that wave. And all that leads into the new boss fight that we have available at the end of Infernal Hordes, and that's against Bartok, the new boss for the season. You can still do the Fell Council fight, but now we've got an additional option of Bartok. But he's not a walk in the park. He's a tougher boss, and he also is harder. You don't just automatically get to do them. Basically, when you get to the end of your waves now, you'll be presented with 2 offerings. One will take you to the Fell Council, just the normal experience. You don't need to buy into it. But the other offering actually has an upfront Aether cost to get into it. So you have to have performed well enough in your waves to be able to afford to fight Bartok, first of all. And the way that we're tuning that for a 10-wave compass, it's pretty doable, especially as you get deeper into Torment and get better and better at it. But then it starts becoming a lot harder with a 6 or 8 wave compass, where you really have to perform well if you're going to be able to afford to get into the Bartok fight. And the other thing about the Bartok fight is it is a lot more difficult than the Fell Council. The fight itself is a lot more complex. It's kind of a bullet hell style where we've got teleporters in the arena, and you're having to teleport back and forth and avoid these massive just screen clearing attacks that he has, and it's just got a lot more flavor to the boss fight. But the big reason you want to do him, he's going to be more rewarding than the Fell Council, but the biggest reason is he is your best shot at getting the new Chaos armor that we haven't talked about yet. Aislin's going to touch on the Chaos armor in just a moment, but basically your best chance at collecting that armor is going to be to fight Bartok.
Man, I'm excited. The Infernal Hordes are probably one of my favorite content out there. So you said that this is going to be pre-Torment. You can start unlocking it just by going straight into Helltides is there a minimum level requirement to get there, or you can just open it up?
So the stuff that I was just talking about with the Bartok fight in the full-blown Infernal Hordes, that's still only once you get to Torment tiers. We have like a special, like smaller version that actually doesn't even have the Chaos Waves in it. It's just a smaller version of the pre-Chaos Infernal Hordes that you can do now pre-Torment, and there's not a level requirement. Though, if you just take a level 1 character and go straight into there, you're probably going to get wiped pretty hard. So a soft level requirement of you need to have a little bit of gear, which you should have to get in there. You will have had to do Hell Tides for a little while, found the Nightmare Dungeon with the Nightmare Dungeon Sigil with the Chaos Rift affix, run a couple of those, and then gotten one of these fleeting compasses to get you into there. So we don't have a hard cap on it, but just naturally playing, you should be at a level that is appropriate once you unlock that.
Okay, that's cool. I like that we're adding in new stuff to the leveling process to kind of mix up what we're doing and where to go and what we're doing. So that's awesome.
Yeah, we wanted to have a little bit more variety to that 1 to 60 leveling experience that we haven't always had in previous seasons.
That is very cool. Now, I know we've talked a lot about the Chaos Armor, but I want to share one more graphic. I'm going to swap this graphic around, and I'm going to go back to you, Charles, because we didn't get to show the perks, so I wanted to get that up on this screen. So let me just get that real quick.
Yeah, I think we talk a little bit about like the overall philosophy of seasonal powers and well, the perks and how they're adjusting here. To talk through a little bit of the details of like the exact mechanics of it. I think that's what I bring up a kind of visual of how it'll work. So I think one of the cool parts about this system compared to previous systems is that we have class specific chaos perks. So in the past, our seasonal powers were.
I think I know what
generic
happened
across
here.
the classes, right? Everyone had the access to the
I think
exact
they
same set of
ran
things.
their
Maybe
test
some
run
classes
of this
preferred ones over the
through
other,
their
but
game QA department.
your tool set was identical. Here we have the ability with class specific ones to actually make ones that directly hook into your class mechanics. So we see an example here with Defile the Dead for necromancers, specifically allowing you to use each corpse twice. So this way, like, hey, use corpse explosion on a corpse. The corpse is still there until you do it a second time, and then consumes it. So this really like changes kind of your corpse economy in the necro build, as well as creating a chaotic burst, which is kind of a power that many of these powers, these chaos perks use. But I think it's really cool that it allows us to look at different class mechanics, and there are still some generic effects here, but there are 4 class-specific perks per class, and so to really get to see all the things that are available across this entire system, you're going to need 4 class-specific. In terms of like how you're actually going to interact with it, pretty straightforward and pretty similar to some previous seasonal powers, just because we think that a lot of the complexity here is in their actual effects and how they impact your build. Obviously, Defile the Dead here, this example is relatively straightforward in terms of what it does, but there are definitely ones that have a lot bigger modifications to your build that really ask you to like play very differently, use your skills in different ways, or itemize totally separately than you would have before to really take advantage of it. And so because there's like a bit more of a complexity of ask there in terms of like what you want to do to use these effects, actually like socketing them in is relatively straightforward, right? You can equip 3 of the non-unique perks, the magic, rare, and legendary. So any 3 of those, along with 1 unique perk. The unique ones are definitely like the biggest change up. The biggest like ones that change up your build, the kind of the most dramatic adjustments and require the biggest ask to work with.
That's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited to see what the other classes have in store. This is definitely a pretty big change, going from everything just being generic and used all over. I think it should help with some of the diversity with the classes. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you'll definitely find uses for some of the generics across each class, but definitely the class specific ones are the ones that have will definitely make it feel very different from class to class. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to run the exact same set of powers on every class, every character that I play, and you're going to get a lot of new options across every class to kind of empower brand new builds that we may not have seen before because of these perks.
Yeah, I think something that's really worth emphasizing about the Chaos perk system and how it differentiates itself from seasonal power is kind of what you're digging into here. Like we see here, it says you can consume each corpse twice. Like that's an effect that's going to change how you're thinking about your build. And that just wasn't something that you typically got from seasonal power before. Like you'd probably get something that was like, oh, you call a bunch of awesome magic that explodes everything, but it's not necessarily changing the way you're thinking about your core skill or changing the way you're thinking about your other tagged skills. And all of these chaos perks are keying into that. And the fact that there are some that also key into class specific stuff lets us go even deeper into that philosophy, which is really cool.
Yeah, just to throw out some examples to talk through, like unstable power is one of the magic ones, and it says that your basic skills are going to be guaranteed to critically strike and overpower and deal increased damage, which is huge. But the downside is that your basic skills now have a 3-second cooldown. And so in order to like really fully utilize this, you need to be looking at cooldown reduction for your basic skill build. You need to be looking at other effects that can reduce that. Or possibly you do some cooldown reduction and you play multiple basic skills so that while one's on cooldown, you can cast the other one. And so this is like a new pattern. Like we're giving you a huge benefit, right? Guaranteed crit, guaranteed overpower. You don't need to build crit strike. You don't need to build overpower. Or you build overpower damage. And you get a ton of damage up front, but you have a different problem to solve. And I think that's like really the sweet spot for these types of perks, where it gives you a huge benefit, but also asks you to do something different in your build that you might not have done before. Really take full advantage of it.
Well, I cannot wait to get my hands on it. Now, we have been talking a lot about Chaos Armor. It's come up a couple times. I am pretty excited to dive into this. So, Aislinn, we've already heard a lot about the season, but let's talk about the Chaos Armor. I'm going to get the screenshot up on the monitor while you hop into it.
Sure, sounds good. Yeah, so we talked a little bit about Bartuk. We talked a little bit about the seasonal theme of chaos. So I want you guys to go on a little bit of a word journey with me here. So you're the hero of Sanctuary. You're going around, you're bopping demons on the head. You go into the Infernal Hordes, bop the demons on the head. You finish that. You get to Bartuk here at the end. What do? You bop him on the head. He falls over. Loot explodes outward. And what do you see on the ground? You see a different color that you haven't seen before. That is Chaos Armor. So Chaos Armor is a new type of itemization that we are adding to the game in Season 10. It is seasonal itemization. So we didn't want to just do chaos perks this season. We also wanted to mix it up even more because it's the season of chaos. So we want things to get crazy. And it's going to live for the entire duration of Season 10. And there are two things about Chaos Armor that are pretty unique. And for the people asking in chat, it's like a greenish color. Yes, it's kind of green. It will be pretty distinct. But anyways, there are two distinct things about Chaos Armor that you're going to notice. So you might see an Ophidian Iris here, and you might know that that came in Season 9 and was a sorcerer unique amulet. But you also might notice that in the tooltip, it's not an amulet. It is a helmet. So Chaos Armor transforms the slot of uniques that you've seen before into new slots.
I don't think
So you can
answer this
find
question,
Chaos
but I'm gonna ask
Armor
it anyway.
in any of the 5 armor slots, which is going to be the helmet, the chest piece, the gloves, legs, and boots. And this really opens up a ton of build crafting opportunities. Like, for example, you might really want to find a Shaco or an Air of Perdition on your helmet. And then you might also have another helmet unique that you'd really love to wear, but you can't because, you can't have 2 helmets. But with Chaos Armor, you can, because you can find that unique item as Chaos Armor instead and put it in a different slot. Now, not every unique is going to be Chaos Armor. We have a curated list. However, a pretty significant majority of the uniques in the game are going to be capable of dropping as Chaos Armor. Another thing I want to touch on with this system is that we know a lot of people are going to lair bosses and, living there and just bopping them on the head over and over, and that's where they go to target farm their unique items. We don't necessarily want that to always be the case. So Chaos Armor is not going to primarily be found from fighting lair bosses. There are going to be other places you're going to go to find it, in particular Infernal Hordes and fighting Bartuk. We really want to mix that up so you can actually go to different activities in the game and, have fun with fresh new experiences. But the second thing about Chaos Armor, getting a little ahead of myself here, is that the unique aspect is more powerful as well. So you might notice in these tooltips here that typically what is the blue number on a unique power is actually like a little green. So that means specifically on Chaos Armor that it's going to max roll its unique power, and it's 20% more powerful. So it's not only the max roll, it's better on top of that. So not only are you getting this interesting build crafting element to Chaos Armor, it's just straight up better too. So we're really expecting some wild possibilities that are going to emerge from Chaos Armor. And we kind of had when we had a few primary goals when we were working on Chaos Armor, but like the big thing is we really wanted to shake up the meta. We're really expecting builds that were, either previously underperforming to be really powerful because of the permutations that are now available via Chaos Perks and Chaos Armor in Season 10. And we also expect there to be builds that weren't even like a twinkle in our collective eye to emerge in Season 10 because of these systems and go wild. And so I cannot wait to see what people come up with these systems combined. I think Season 10 is going to be absolutely wild. I think it's going to be crazy. So I'm super excited about it. And the last thing I want to touch on before we dive into conversation is just a little bit about like what we're looking for in the PTR. This is going to be in the PTR. Chaos Armor is going to be in the PTR. So our perks or the other things that Ben talked about, like rifts and Bartek and whatnot. But with Chaos Armor specifically, we really want to get your guys' takes on like, are there some items that you'd love to see as Chaos Armor? Are there some that feel too powerful as Chaos Armor? Because right now we have everything balanced on a very level playing field, but we want to hear what you guys think about like how the meta emerges and like what's powerful and what's maybe too weak, so we can make sure that Chaos Armor is as fun as possible when it actually comes out. So yeah, I definitely recommend getting in there, talking to our dancing demon boy Mrak, and getting those Chaos Armor caches and trying it out.
Well, I honestly cannot wait to get my hands on it. So you want us to focus on the Chaos Armor, and this is during the public test realm. See what's strong, what's working. If there's something else that we want to add in, was there anything else that we should be focusing on during the public test realm?
I think for
go ahead.
I was mentioned for Chaos Perk, it's similar, right? This is testing. We are here to test and preview new content. It's by no means finalized for what we're actually going to end up shipping. And so like your feedback on the PTR is really important. Specifically for, I guess, the combination of the Chaos Perk system and the Chaos Armor system is, as Aislinn mentioned, making brand new builds, new things that like, hey, I've never been able to do this kind of build before, or I've never had to solve this problem, right? Whether it be, getting different, stats or cooldowns or whatever kind of combination you're trying to do. We want things to be, new builds, new avenues, new ways to play, and that it should feel very different. And we want to make sure that we're hitting that mark, and we're like giving you powerful things and reasons to be playing in different ways. And so we just really want to make sure that both these systems combined are really leading towards that goal.
Okay, so everybody heard that. We got to get some testing done to make sure that we are just giving as much feedback as we can. That is the whole purpose of the PTR. It's super important to get this testing done so we can get the best launch of the season possible. Was there anything else anybody want to cover, or we can hop into the Q&A section?
Yeah, I think we'd also love to, see people go in. Like we made a lot of changes to Infernal Hordes with the chaos stuff. I'd love to see people go in, try out the new Infernal Horde shakeup we've got, try out Chaos Waves, try out the Bartek fart. How does it, excuse me, fight? Maybe he does, but whatever.
Maybe.
Yeah, try that out. And yeah, I think if I could distill it down to one sentence, I would say, please break Season 10 over your knee. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in Season 10. Again, I just really want to emphasize it's the season of chaos. So please go in, try all the different combinatorics, show us what insanity you can, conjure up, and show us that we've made terrible, terrible mistakes.
That sounds like a lot of fun. So will we be getting Mrak right off the bat, or are we going to get like a day or two to do leveling testing?
Oh yeah, I think we're getting leveling, or excuse me, MRAC right off the bat, so you guys should be able to go in there and just get boots on the ground immediately.
That's awesome. And for anybody that does get to try out the test realm is going to be for PC Battle.net users. The leveling process sounds like it's going to change a little bit with the introduction of these new rifts for the season. So make sure you do get some level testing in just to see, so we can get some feedback for how the leveling is going to feel too. All right. If anybody, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, if you end up being one of our wonderful champions that does decide to level test, first of all, we love you. Thank you so much. Second of all, please, we'd love to hear what you have to think or what you have to say about like Helltide and Chaos Rifts and the new like Nightmare Dungeon Affix, and of course Fleeting Hordes, which is the pre-torment version of Infernal Hordes, which is mostly designed to be achievable for leveling characters, but it's probably going to be pretty tough because Infernal Hordes is just naturally fairly challenging, especially if your build's not totally ready. So get in there and try it out and let us know what you think of that too.
Sounds good. My one of my favorite parts about this is the leveling process. So I guess we can probably hop into the Q&A section. So user Paolo977, they asked, hope later in the chat will be revealed what will be the seasonal and what will go to the eternal realm. So what's going to stay and what's going to go?
The Chaos perks and Chaos armor are seasonal features. These are limited to Season 10, Season of Chaos. A lot of the changes, same with a lot of the changes to Infernal Hordes, the improvements to the boons and banes, and the updated structure there are going to be permanent additions. So just like we've done in past seasons, where a lot of the systemic changes to the activities that we did in like the past two boss ladder changes and Helltide and Whisper changes and so on in previous seasons, those were evergreen. Those are always in Eternal for the rest of Diablo 4. But then there was the new power systems were seasonal specific.
Okay, awesome. Ignition asked, will the transitional armor gear always be set into a different slot, or will the chaos be random? So is the armor going to stay in the same spot like designated, or is it going to be a random slot that's going to go to?
Oh yeah, so when something rolls as Chaos Armor, it can be any of the Chaos Armor slots. There is one exception. So just to kind of outline this again, there are 5 slots in which Chaos Armor can drop, which is the helmet, chest, gloves, legs, and boots. The one exception, or rather what I should say is like, let's use the example of Ophidian Iris again, which is an amulet. You can find a Chaos Armor version of Ophidian Iris in any of those 5 Chaos Armor slots. That is random. However, if there's a unique item that originally started in one of those slots, like for example, Fist of Fate is gloves typically, you won't be able to find a gloves Chaos Armor version of Fist of Fate because it was already gloves, but you would be able to find the other 4 slots for Fist of Fate.
I think a lot of people that were looking at the screenshots and saw the Ophidian Iris as a helmet and wanted to run their Shaco probably just had a big sigh of relief there. So they can still run their Harlequin's Crest and still get the Ophidian Iris in some other slot. That's awesome, honestly.
Yeah, that's the goal. You know, we want it to be very flexible. We also want to make sure that it's like an in-game chase, right? Like we want it to be something really fun to find. And that was part of the reason why we made them capable of being dropped in those 5 slots, so that like, you know, you're chasing like the perfect Chaos Armor.
That is incredibly fun. That's going to open up so many opportunities for different builds and different diversity to come out. So for the next one, Panda asked, is the Chaos Armor going to be account bound? That's a good question.
That is a great question. Chaos Armor is going to be account bound. So we want you to kind of go on your own personal chaotic journey, I guess you could say. We had a lot of conversations internally about that. So, you know, drop in feedback or give us feedback if you feel differently during PTR. I know that people have mixed opinions on that. So let us know what you think. I'd love to hear from you guys. But really, we wanted to make sure that people were finding chaos armor and they were kind of experiencing their own build path, basically. We didn't want trading to be like the best way where, you go and we want you to find a chaos armor drop on the ground from beating Bartek or elsewhere in the game and be like, oh shit, like that's my chaos armor now. And have your build and your path like diverge from other people. And that kind of guides your season journey as a whole.
I like that. That's a good opportunity also for feedback. So make sure that if you are playing the PTR and you feel differently, definitely leave that feedback. Glitchmeister asked, is there a way that skills on each class could get an additional changes in a way that makes them more unique and have multiple playstyles? So an example was making the druid's earth magic become volcanic, making his storm magic become frost winds, making the sorcerer's infernal instead summon a giant serpent and spew walls of fire, making deep freeze rain down the cold meteorites, or something like that along the lines of those.
I talk to this a bit. I think that's really some really cool suggestions there, and I think there's definitely an appetite for like, hey, I like this skill, but I'd love to play it in a different way. And there's a number of ways like we try to deliver on that. Obviously we've got existing legendaries and uniques that mix up how skills work in the game. We're trying that a bit more now with the chaos perk system, where they are affecting some of those skills in similar ways, where it's like, hey, what you used to know about how the skill worked is now very different. Alternative playstyle. I think one of the best examples in the chaos perk system is the necromancer unique one, Alter the Balance, which affects your core and ultimate skills and basically swaps them how they work. That's definitely like design space we're really interested in exploring moving forward. And we are starting to do that a little bit here in season 10. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see more kind of big playstyle swaps and modifications to skills like that in future content. But that's not something we can give too much detail on at this time.
Okay, well, I mean, that sounds good. So Dante asked, can you bring some seasonal powers from previous seasons into a permanent edition like rings that have powers from season 1 or an aspect from season 2? I know that this is something that people have asked in the past.
Yeah, that is something that we did on a couple of those earlier seasons, where we brought some of the favorite powers back as unique items, as kind of one-offs. And that's definitely like something we look at and could consider for future lines. Definitely ones that really resonate with players. I definitely know there were some previous seasonal powers that players really loved and would love to see back. And trust me, the dev team has heard that. When we hear that, like, oh, you really like this one power, I'd love to see it back in some way. We've taken note of that, and we'd love to keep hearing that. And we're llooking for the right time and right place, right system to kind of put that in. It's not always just put it on a new unique, because then we end up getting a bunch of you're limited on the exact number of uniques you can have. Maybe there's other systems that we can deliver some of the fan favorite powers from seasons past in. So definitely keep giving us that feedback. We're listening. We're absolutely making note and finding the right spot to reincorporate some of those favorite powers back in.
All right. I think that looks like that we're pretty much actually here. Give me just one more second. Let me just grab this here real quick. All right, looks like we are at time, but thank you everybody for coming out today. Thank you for hanging out while we figured out how to get this up and running. We appreciate your patience very, very much. This was a really, really great turnout. I'm very excited to be able to sit down with everybody and talk about all of this stuff. I'm pretty excited to get onto the public test realm. Make sure you get on, do your testing. It is very important to leave some feedback. You can do that on the forums. It's a really great place for everybody to leave what you get to do and what you get to see. So we're really looking forward to this. It looks like the PTR start date is going to be on the 18th of August. Is that right? Or is it going to be on the 19th? The 19th? I think we're going to be getting the PTR starting on the 19th is when we're going to hit. So if you guys can look out for that, we're going to be doing that. You can download that through the Battle.net client. But thanks, team, everybody. Everybody, thank you. I really appreciate this. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, great to be here. Can't wait to see what kind of chaos you guys get up to.
Thanks for having us.
Okay. So interesting. The Q&A was like 5 seconds because they started 20 minutes late, which is kind of a disappointment. But there we go. I booted it. All right. Well, some interesting stuff there. Definitely will be playing and streaming the PTR. So hopefully we'll catch all of you on some of those streams. And got any questions? If you're on YouTube, pop it in the comments. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. And we will keep on covering the stuff that